Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson, previously known for Brick, Looper, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. This time his movie is an ensemble with a truly stellar cast. Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, Christopher Plummer, and Catherine Langford. The film itself is a modern version of a classic murder mystery in the vein of Agatha Christie. Harlan Thrombey, an accomplished writer of just those kinds of books and a multi-millionaire, is found dead in his mansion on the morning following his 85th birthday party. He's found in his study with a slashed throat and a dagger next to him. And based on the type of wound, the death is ruled a suicide. But when the police show up in the house to do the final round of interviews with the family, a private detective played by Daniel Craig shows up with them. He was hired by someone, we don't initially know who, to do a proper investigation because it's possible there has been foul play. Initially, it seems that the family are all doing fine on their own and at least tolerate each other, so the potential motive is not clear. But very soon, secrets begin coming to light. So based on the premise, and even more so on the cast, I had pretty high expectations, and I'm happy to say that they've been met and in some respects even exceeded. Let's begin with the cast. I think every one of the actors involved is brilliant. They each play an important role in the context of the story, and most of them get a chance to shine individually as well, which they absolutely use. Each of the characters is quite distinct, all have their quirks and mannerisms and also agendas. But they all work best at playing off one another. I'm happy to say that the cast has brilliant chemistry between them, and the more characters are in the scene together, the better it all works. There are multiple moments in the film with the family going mental and arguing between themselves, but my absolute favorite was the first arrival of Chris Evans, who plays Ransom, the unruly grandson of the deceased. It's very clear that he's having a blast, because after years of being stuck in the role of Captain America, here he gets to be a massive asshole to everybody around him. And within a few minutes of him showing up, a huge argument inevitably erupts, and it's just hilarious. I also think in a story like this, it's important that there are no plot holes and that all the elements fit together in the end. And I'm very glad to report that this aspect has also been executed flawlessly. The film is ripe with tiny details, a lot of lines which seem throwaway at first, but then turn out to be really important as clues as to what's going on. It almost seems like there is no element wasted. Every single thing that serves to build the characters or the setting or give us background also has a payoff in the mystery itself. I was also a big fan of the set design. Most of the film takes place in the family mansion that belonged to a murder mystery author who seemed to be a pretty huge geek about the genre, because the whole building is filled with books, board games, potential murder weapons, knives, old clocks, paintings, various memorabilia related to one novel or the other. It really stands out how cluttered it all is. Every single room seems to be filled completely with all those objects that could very easily seem random but somehow fit really well together and help build the atmosphere of the place and of the story. And of course, some of those objects and elements are also crucial to the plot. So Knives Out really does feel like this puzzle that you are solving, and as you do, you're just having a blast all the time. And then with each piece that you fill in, the whole picture makes more and more sense, and then the very last shot of the film feels like putting the one last element into its place to complete the whole thing. And when that last element lands, it is immensely satisfying.